Hopefully this is recording. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoki and I'm a Gemini, which is why this channel called Zoki the Gemini. So today we are here to talk about Derrick Jaxn. I have been seeing over the past few days that he divorced his wife, and I was like, huh? He divorced his wife. Like he divorced his wife after he was doing all the fuckeries and after all of the things he done. Surely the wife. I was like, no, I didn't read this properly. Maybe the wife divorced him because he's the one that is doing all of it. He's the one that's a narcissist. He's the one that stayed gaslighting people. So how did he divorce her? But lo and behold, he is the one that filed for divorce apparently, and he done the whole Instagram status and how it's been the hardest decision and how they've been separated for however many months now. Anyways, so I decided to do this video a little bit different from how I normally do. This video, if you guys don't know already, is a live. So the reason why I wanted to do this as a live is because I want it to be interactive. Obviously, you guys know I have my opinions and I have my thoughts, but this is my opportunity to talk to the tribe, talk to the peeps, talk to my girls and guys, and however you identify about how you guys, are finding a situation, what you guys' thoughts are in terms of, do you think she was ever gonna leave? Because I mean, I don't want to get into it too quick, but a little bit, like some parts of me feels like she may have never actually left her marriage. And can we say he actually done her a favor by divorcing her? Because since she was, strong in a helmet of armor, was sis ever gonna leave that marriage? Realistically. Do you get what I mean? Was she ever gonna say enough is enough? I've gone through suffering, and like I understand that in biblical in the Bible it says a wife should do this, a wife should do that, but at the end of the day, God does not want his child to suffer. Regardless of, I feel like what the Bible says about marriage, God does not want you to suffer. God does not want you to be embarrassed. But anyways, let me not talk too quick and let me say hey to you guys. Hey Shahanda, thank you so much. Hey Kelly, so what are you guys' thoughts? First and foremost, if you are joining the live, make sure you introduce yourself and where you are coming from. I need to know, are you from South London? Are you from South Carolina? Are you from South Oklahoma? Are you from New York? Are you from California? Where are you from? Are you joining from Nigeria? Are you joining from Ghana, South Africa, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago? Let me know where you're coming from because I feel like that will kind of, I don't know. Based on where you're from, I'm going to try and guess what your opinion on it is. But before we get into the nitty and gritty, make sure you introduce yourself and where you are basically watching from. And let me go through it. Hey, African Queen. Okay, where am I? Saf, you said it was a blessing in disguise. She'll realize it later. Hmm. Who agrees? Hi, Niley. So, Kelly, you said, I hate the fact that sometimes people use the Bible to justify settling or doing bull BS. Do we agree? What are our thoughts in terms of what Kelly said? Do we think sometimes people use the Bible to justify an action, or maybe if they don't want to leave a situation, rather than saying like, due to my insecurities or due to just my mental well-being, I don't have the strength to leave the situation, and instead they will use like, do you think like, yeah, instead they'll use the children, like, I don't want my child to be raised in a home where there's not a mom and dad, or they use the Bible to justify it. Because one thing about the Bible, is a powerful book, but it like is obviously open to interpretation. And I feel like some things you can justify quite a few things using a Bible. You can take a little bit of this quote and a little bit of this quote and justify an action. Was that the intention? I doubt it. But can it be used to justify something? Arguably, yes. And I'm happy you're here, Shahanda. I'm happy you're here. African Queenies have been dating a guy and he told me that he'll get a second wife. Oh, if the first wife lets herself go, I'm 24. I don't know if I want marriage anymore. Okay. Uh-uh. Nali, you're from Germany and I support you. Thank you so much. We got Florida. Hey, Miss Phoenix. You're from Texas. We got another person up in Texas. We have someone that's from Mali but lives in NYC. We've got Maryland. Yes, we got South London. I'm residing in Hampton, Virginia. Love that. Hey, Cynthia. Honestly, I remember during the pandemic, yeah, like I wouldn't ever sit down because me, I don't listen to relationship coach. I'm not that kind of gal. I just feel like you're chatting rubbish. I don't listen to relationship coaches. I don't look. I don't watch. Money experts because more time the relationship or the marriage relationship coaches they're doing madness in their relationship. Marriage coach sometimes they're not even married or they have a failed marriage. But then again, you can learn from your mistakes. But they're always a bit iffy. Money experts, more time they're broke. People that talk about money, more time they ain't got nothing in the bank. So, like obviously you can talk an element of something, but if that's your central point, if that's what you focus on, saying, oh, this is why you need money, most likely the person doesn't have money. Most likely. Hey Kay. African Queen, you said I'm 24 and my family from Mali, but I don't think I want to get married anymore. It looks like most men are incapable of love. I just feel like men's definition of love is I don't know where it comes from, whether it comes from a place of trauma. I kind of want to know if there's anything that happened in Derrick Jaxn's life that has made him who he is, or is it because she was there with him when he didn't have money? They've known each other from way back when. Is this the classical story of a woman suffers with a guy, goes through the whole shebang with a guy. When he ain't got no money to his name, she sticks by him, tries to raise him up, and try and be beside him. And then when he gets a little bit of clout, when he gets a little bit of fame, or once he gets a little bit of money, he drops her. Because obviously we know from the few years back who he's with now, he's been cheating on her with multiple women. I don't even know. I wonder if the wife knows how many people her husband, well, her previous husband, cheated on her with. PSW say, yeah, definitely. I think the wife truly believes that people are against her. She utilizes religion to justify her faults, and that's a problem. Hey Leo, let me go through this quicker. Hey, oh, we got Mexico. Oh no, is that Mexico? Nuevo Mexico. Is that Mexico? I need to stop saying like that. P.S. You said I used to listen to him back in 2007. I remember thinking to myself, "Where is?" It's true because you spent all that time in your car. Yeah, you spent all that time in a car. Show us what's going on. Like show us your family. Show us something. You don't need to expose your life or your love life, but at least show us you have someone. Because when people found out he was married, people were like, "Oh, he's married." And not him making videos outside his side chick's house. Do you know how rude that is? Niley, basically, there is a guy called Derrick Jaxn who I'm not sure is or was a relationship coach, and he went viral a few times, basically talking about cheaters, the importance of not cheating. He was very much like pro women, like men. You need to treat women better. You need to give them respect. That. All while this guy was there, he had a phone saying, "Men, y'all need to do best by the woman." Da 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 da. All the while he was like in front of his side chick's house. Like the side chick house was there. He was in a car making videos. He probably said to her, "Babe, I'm coming. Let me quickly deceive the world, and then I'll come and with you." Hey, peace, Leo. You said he's a fake and a fraud. You African Queen, you said she was the placeholder. Do we think? And I don't. It hurts me to think this, but I'm seeing it more and more. do we think guys like these, like, or guys in general, use certain women as placeholders where they just stay there because they know they're gonna? And this kind of like speaks to the video I made about marriage. Yeah, I already know from what my experience and what I've seen. I've seen some guys, but I spoke mostly about Nigerian marriages. But I've seen some placeholders, and to some degree, where they know, but I was also talking about race and not necessarily a woman, where they know that a woman will stick by them, through thick and thin. She's there. Whether he's financially, emotionally, spiritually stable, she's there. And then once he balances himself, once he's got some like balance to his life, is on to the next one. And it's almost like I feel like some of these guys, and I guess Derrick Jaxn is a perfect example, is that they know they can't approach certain women unless they have certain things. So obviously they still wanna, they still want to have sex and stuff. So they'll find someone that's okay with however they are at that point. Use her, keep her there or whatever. Maybe marry her sometimes, or sometimes just kind of keep her there. Then when they're at the position that they want to be in, that's when they will actually look for their type. And then when they find their type, you will see that they will go over and beyond for her. And then the girl that was with him when he didn't really have anything, she's looking at him like, I was begging you for years to do this. You never done it. So why is it all of a sudden now you want to be doing these things? Um Leo, you said, I heard someone say his wife was good for his image and brand as a good girl and to pander his audience. It's true because, if we have the loyal wife, takes care of the children, take care of the man, the kind of ones that I need to stay at home and make sure my children, not my children, make sure my husband is fed, it kind of builds into his whole narrative of, I've got this perfect marriage, my woman looks after me, my woman's a very much traditional woman, she believes in the importance of honoring and being submissive to the man, and look where it ended. Let me go faster. Yeah, so you said the sad thing about this entire situation is that he will continue to maintain hood fan base. It is so strange when a guy's mixed for cheating and they're still able to monetize the it's true. The sexism within it is crazy. A guy can be exposed for Nelly. I don't really know many things a guy can be exposed for that he still won't be on top within a couple of years at least. Go silent for a couple months and then come back. Please don't say, but the new girl was young. She seems like she isn't really interested in him for the long haul. I think it's just for fun for both of them. The new girl, she definitely has daddy issues because I don't see how you can be with a guy who the whole world kind of knows him for this particular thing, him basically being a scam. Their divorce is not even finalized, and then you're with him. If that was my daughter, if the new girl was my daughter, Jesus Christ. The Alcibian Trust, you said the lesson is people need to get advice from the person they are dating. The lesson is people need to get advice from the person they are dating on a relationship rather than seek advice from someone not in your relationship. I mean, I hear that, but at the same time, I don't. Because sometimes you do need, because the relationship is only two people. How are you getting advice from someone that's within a relationship? Do you mean people in relationships or just the person? The person can lie to you. Only in London, you say, girl, it is messy. I just said to myself, her own friends need to be careful with girls like her. Because if she can deal with someone's man being that he's handsome, it's true. That's for the new girl, right? Most relationship experts never show their relationship. I was so shocked dude was married. Literally. They literally keep the pretense. I think we're all scared of being, imagine being a placeholder. Where am I? African Queen, you said, shake my hand, the man I'm dating now even told me that men upgrade once they get more money. And I feel like if it's something where we see it, and then when we're in a relationship, we get blinded and we're thinking it can never be us, it can never be us. It can be you, it can be me, it can be us. Do you know what I mean? So it's always good to stay on your 10 toes. Do you know what I mean? Simply, so I do feel that Derek was not attracted to the wife anymore. Not an excuse, but I think he just wasn't into it anymore. Now he is more mature and established. I mean, that's a point, but it's just like go your separate ways and do what you want to do. Don't ridicule the woman. She was sexually abused at a young age. Who? The new girl or his wife? And many of her family members are dead, and relocated her. And that's the thing, guys. You see, yeah, when something seems too good to be true, best believe it's probably not true. She probably thought he was her saving grace. Probably till now, she might still think he is her saving grace, and maybe he's gonna come back one day. When you go through a lot of trauma as a child, you want some form of escapism. You want someone to take you from a situation. And if you're saying that she was once sexually abused, that's a whole line of trauma in itself. And then also having family members that are not living, that are have deceased, that's another trauma. Not having that kind of emotional bond with people because they've passed on, and then relocating to another state or relocating to a different location where he becomes her everything. He will literally become your everything because you're cut off from your family. You don't, majority of the time, guys like that, they won't even want you to have friends like that. And then you have the trauma from being sexually abused from when you're young. That's what I always say to people, yeah. If before entering a relationship, obviously we want to enter a relationship for multiple reasons. Sometimes for validation, sometimes we just want to have someone there, sometimes because we see everyone our age, sometimes because of family, sometimes because of society, sometimes for aesthetics. That you want someone to go into Wonderland with. For some people it's that deep. But then you have to realize when you're in a relationship, the vulnerability that you show is that you're not going to show it to anyone else in your life. So if you see the person and there's someone that can prey, and people prey on a weakness, and one thing people need to realize also is really human nature. Don't think someone, they too, like we all prey on people's weakness. Like let's say for example, and I'm sorry to go on a tangent, but let's say for example, yeah, we go to a store, we want to return something, yeah. We'll go back to the store. We want to return it, but we know low key we're taking the piss returning it because we did actually use it. You see two cashiers here. You know you've been to the store multiple times, but you know one of them is a bit timid, and you know they're a bit shy, and they won't really say, "Oh no, madam, we're not going to return it." So you know they're a little bit awkward and a little. Who are you going to go to? Are you going to go to the one that's going to argue with you and say, no, madam, you've used this, so go to your house? Or you're not going to go to the one that you know your presence makes them a bit timid, they're quite awkward, they don't really know how to articulate themselves well? You're going to pick on the weak. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst thing, you're not going to prey on them. But in some ways, you are preying on their weakness because you know it will benefit you. And I feel like that just speaks volumes in all aspects of life, both relationship, personal life, family. If you're a pushover, people, if you're watching and now and you've always been a pushover, you know how much people are taking the piss out of you. If you're someone that finds it hard to say no, you already know people have taken, you know, you can recount how many times people, because they know you're not going to say no, they take the piss out of you. They know that, oh yeah, she's going to do it. She ain't going to argue. So that's just human nature. So if you know how you are before entering a relationship, take into consideration how you are, the things that you're missing. And I know it's like a bit deep to like go through all of this, but if you don't do it now, it's gonna affect you in the future. Now, okay, let me start going through things before I went off my tangent. False. Kelly said, I believe the African queen, women will hold a man down when they're at rock bottom, but men will likely not reciprocate that energy once the roles are reversed. I switch 100%. You know his wife and the new girl, they kind of look alike. Take away her bad wigs, but they're both their wife's bad wigs. They kind of look alike. Um, African Queen, you say I hate how people keep mentioning looks. Cheating has nothing to do with looks. A cheat is a cheater. True. Cynthia, you're onto something. Cynthia said, how can she be good for his image when he hid her his entire career until he got exposed? Nali, you said, I do believe it has to do with looks. Maybe he didn't find her attractive no more. Men who are older want younger women. But like, I hear it, but it's just what we're just gonna accept now. Cause ladies, we're not gonna stay young forever. What are we saying that when a man gets a bit older, we're gonna be okay with him doing a madness? Do you get it? Everyone gets older. So what are we saying? Are we saying it's acceptable? No judgment here because that's your life. So you're not saying because let's say in the next 10 or 15 years, your man is looking at a younger girl. Are you gonna say, well, that's just how men are and just accept it? Or what message are we actually putting across? P.S. Arius, I do think it's terrifying how someone like Derrick can portray himself like an ally and literally partake. Anyone that guys, we this past couple months, yeah, especially if you're London based, so many people that pose themselves as an ally, they are not an ally. So many people that pose themselves as something that they're very much like deep in the trenches, and like when they pose themselves as an ally, they go hard on it. And you're thinking, wow, this person is dedicated. Like when he was talking about cheaters, I remember seeing a video when he's there saying men need to do. I said, wow, this guy really has women's interest at heart. Like he's really dropping a T. Anyone that goes to that extent where it's like, wow, you're really an ally, don't believe it is a lie. It's a lie. It's all a lie. It was a lie. It was a lie. It's all a lie. That's why you have to. So you have to take things with a pinch of salt. Kelly, you said some people do anything for clout. He pandered too many women and talked the bay. And yeah, they did. Farah, you said this is why men who married their high school sweethearts in the old thousands are absolutely questionable. They didn't have social media back then and now have access to younger, more attractive women. It's true. Sang, you said you can tell if someone settled with you. It's how they interact. That's the problem of glow ups. It's true. P.S. You said, but it's so sad, Zogi. They met in high school. How can someone be so cruel? Literally. Literally. Hey, figure eight. Hey, Carol. Nali, you said, I personally think cheating is deeper than looks. It also has to do with emotions and feelings. Even Beyonce and other people and beautiful women get cheated on. There must be a deeper issue between. That's true. That's true. Rihanna got cheated on her, and Kevin Sam, who even cares about that? What that guy rated people, but it's true. That's actually true because if we're like it's just due to looks, that's why he cheated. Then why are people who are based off like perfect body, perfect face, people such as Beyonce and Rihanna getting cheated on? So it's more than just the looks. It's more to do with the mental and emotional aspects of it. If you said, I really sometimes feel like men just can't handle being monogamous. It's true. Natalie, you said a relationship needs communication. Maybe it was lacking between them. But the way this guy was there cheating like no man's business, that's not lack of communication. That's lack of respect. That's lack of respect. Like you built a name for yourself from being this socialite, being this go-to person as a relationship expert. Respect yourself, respect your brand, and respect me, and know how you're moving. It's not every girl that says, hey, you're there chatting to or you're trying to have sex with. That is disrespectful on like I would never want to be in this situation, yeah. But God forbid, yeah, I would rather a guy have a continuous side chick for many, many years than just anyone. Can you imagine just jumping like what's the things that live in Australia again? Kangaroo. Jumping like a kangaroo, jumping jack. I'd rather you have one because at least I can say maybe you're in love with her. Do you know what I mean? Like just one long term side chick than jumping. No, 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 no. It's a no from me. It's a no from me. Tomorrow, you said the fact that Derek didn't see a problem with his wife being on camera without being camera ready still because he always had a trim. He always looked prepped, but it fed into his narrative of she's a submissive and like down wife. She'll be there by him, and then I feel like just the cherry on the cake is that he is the one that filed for divorce. So he's out here making her look stupid. She's coming on with her helmet of salvation or armor, whatever. Yeah, she's there looking. Obviously, she's a beautiful woman in it, but she's there looking like however looking. And then after I feel like in some ways he has the advantage because he's the one that cut it off. So he can then, when he does his podcast or when he does all his talk shows and stuff, he's gonna be like, if you really love something, you have to let it go. Them cheesy lines like, if you love it, it will come back to you if it's meant for you. So it's almost like making him seem like I knew my flaws and I knew I wasn't a man for her anymore. So I decided to let her go when really and truly it wasn't that. Only God knows why he decided to file for divorce, but it wasn't because he had her best interest at heart. Because if he did, he wouldn't have been doing what he had been doing. Okay. Denaya, you said Denaya is attractive. The fact that she seems to have some mental issues and he seemingly didn't do anything to help her. He wanted her to stay that way. And that's it. Sometimes men want you to be down. They want to feel, and I'm not saying all men before people be saying I hate men. I don't hate men. But they want to, I feel like a man's ego is so fragile. Like some guys will not even go out with a girl that's like relatively their height because they want to have that ego of like I'm towering over you, I'm much taller than you, like, and that's why like guys will clown tall girls because they're threatened by a tall girl because they know a tall girl can punch them in their face. Do you get what I mean? But their ego is so fragile, and it's scary to see how much they will let you kind of like self-destruct just so that they look good, just so that they feel like, oh yeah, I'm still, yeah, kind of like their ego is up, their ego is inflated. I don't even want to see the worst case scenarios where how far men go to try and inflate their ego because I feel like I will cry and I will turn into a lesbian. It's that real. African Queen, you said one guy told me a woman is supposed to fight the side chick. Ah! A woman is supposed to fight the side chick to keep her man. No woman should have to compete for. The worst thing is so many Nigerian mothers think like that. So many Nigerian mothers think like that. Do you know how many aunties think like that? Like, if you're really still like, if you're really serious about this marriage, you're just letting this small girl come and do you know what I mean? They actually feel like, no, for me to really show myself as a wife, I need to show these little girls pepper. They will actually brand all their husband side chick as these little girls. I will show these little girls pepper. They will go to stupid. They will go to spiritual doctors. They will go to physical armor. They will do a madness to drive off the little girls. But would they say anything to their husband? PM. No. No energy. No nothing. But let me keep going. Sorry, but you say he didn't cheat because of natural looks. He cheated because the wife's image ruins his muscly best man's holiday aesthetics. He's extremely superficial and cares about the world too much. But I don't feel, I heard that, but I don't feel like she could be dressed up. She could match his energy. If he really wanted that, he could get her a makeup artist, a hairstylist. Bottom line, she's a beautiful woman. Is it Danea or Danea? She's a beautiful woman, yeah? So if he wanted aesthetics of a baddie, sis could be a baddie. Even if she would be wearing waist trainer, I feel like she could match it. Do you get me? Because even his wife, and her wigs are not the greatest. So if someone, as I said, if he hired a hairstylist, her hair like even it doesn't even need to be melted, but their wigs are given life. I feel like she'll match that aesthetic. But I think it's more than that. I don't just think it's because of her looks, because she's a pretty woman. Do you know what I mean? And she could be dolled up. Cynthia, you said it's important to continue building and upgrading yourself, especially when you're in a relationship. Work on yourself and self-esteem throughout. Being a wife is only part of you, and this exactly. And one thing I feel like I will even say, you know what? Yeah, I think one of the biggest things when it comes to religion is because there's religion and there's people. There's religion and there's religious people. The religious, obviously, the Bible's a book. If you was to boil it down to something is a book. When you are reading a book, everyone has different interpretations. Now, I feel like what happens a lot when it comes to these religious people sometimes is that they will have like a uniform interpretation of the Bible, but that does not mean that's everyone's interpretation. So when they're talking to other religious women or people that want to become more religious, they will say, "Oh, as the Bible says, this is what you have to do for a man. This is what you have to do for a man. It says, wives, do this, submit to your husband, do this, do this." But it doesn't talk about women. Continue building on yourself. You are still an individual, whether you're a wife, whether you're a mother, you are still you. Do you get before any of these titles? You was by yourself, was you not? There was a time you didn't have children. There was a time you didn't have a husband. So you still have to look after yourself, but you just know it's a shared responsibility because you may have children or you may have, a house to look after or a husband to look after. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like balancing it. I'm so far behind. Devin, you said if he cheats, he doesn't need to be married anymore. He needs to be single. But married, I think I said it one time, yeah. There's no guy that's more single than a married man. There is no guy that is more single than a married man. Because their own one is just different. I feel like certain things a married man will do, a single man will never. Nicole, you said, but it was mainly for image, and he probably try and manipulate the next one, then move on to his next supply. Exactly that. African Queen, you said, what gets me mad is the double standards. Why do men feel like they have the right to cheat, but women have to be faithful? It's crazy. And then they will go to such extreme lengths. And do you know what, yeah? Do you know what really messes up a situation? Is when a guy cheats. When, when a guy cheats, yeah, what makes the situation worse is that he will become paranoid. And like if the insult wasn't enough that you went outside and you cheated on me, that's an insult within itself. But then when he's guilty, there's nothing worse than a man's guilt. So when he feels guilty or he's still doing it, everything you do, he becomes like hyper focused. So if you're smiling at your phone, or if you're taking certain pictures, or if you're wearing certain things, he's thinking, oh, you want to do what he's doing. So his insecurity is then feeding into, like, is literally eating at him. So he's thinking, even if he knows that you don't know, but everything, he's just on edge. That doesn't stop him from cheating. He's still gonna cheat. Don't get me wrong, but he just thinks so. The relationship even becomes worse, not because he cheated. That's an element, but how he will start moving. The most paranoid men are the men that are doing the worst outside. Literally, and I know I stick by that wholeheartedly. The most paranoid men in terms of checking their girl phone, like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you wearing that? Da 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 da. They are doing the more fuckeries outside because they're scared that you're gonna do what they're doing, and that's the problem. That's actually the problem. No, that's even part of the problem, shall I say? Devin, you said I can't believe the mistress. How did she go on social media and God was zap them? I'm so done. Um, love you too. Um, thank you, Mary. Yeah, if you're watching like the live, you might as well. Let's discuss. Cynthia, you said she was on that video with no bra on, a black bonnet and speaking crazy. Oh, God forbid he knew what he was doing. It's true. It's true, Like, do you know what? I almost it almost hurts me to think how far gone mentally is she that you get on a camera with okay, get on the camera with a bonnet, calm, all right, but just like no bra, the outfit is basic. It's just you just look so, and you're beautiful. You have a beautiful face, a beautiful body, but you actually get on the camera and you're there just standing there. I remember she was just there stand like I don't know, man. I don't know. PSA review said Derek has an emptiness inside the room that can never be filled. He uses women as commodities to stroke his ego. He loves and enjoys the validation he receives from baddies, and he will never stop. And exactly that. That is a read and a half because that is exactly it. Carol, you said if a man cheats on me, I don't give second chances because if he does it once, he'll do it again, and that's exactly it. If a guy cheats on you, he's gonna cheat again. Do you know what? Yeah, if a guy cheats on you once again, he's gonna do it again. But then it's for you to decide what you want from the relationship. Everyone gains different things from a relationship. If you are trying to gain love and affection and peace, you're not gonna get that from a cheating man. If you're there for the money and opportunities, you could get that from a cheating man, 100%. It all depends on what you want from the relationship. What do you have to gain? Is it because you want the affection? You're gonna cry. You're gonna cry like a rat on the highway. But if you want money, if even if you want validation, actually then again, if he's cheating, how validated would you feel? It's just all about what you want from a relationship. Tomorrow said all those videos and not once did we know he was married. We only found out because of the cheating scandal. Literally. F you said, I don't even want to be in a relationship anymore. Monogamy seems like a scam. It's a thing where, and even like I want us to discuss where is monogamy still working? Like, is monogamy still working? And let me go through the comments and let me, respond to people before we get into that. Sarah, you said, but that's not her. What if she likes the way she presents to the world? Boy, each to their own, I guess. Justy, you said it's not about the looks. He wants both the modest and that's it. It's true. Tomorrow said, where's the Denari's family and all of this? Their daughter's in a terrible situation and we've heard nothing from them. Clearly there's troubles there and that's why she's okay with bad treatment. And early in her life tomorrow, someone said that she actually was sexually abused when she was younger. So she may actually be detached away from her family. And someone also said she what's it called again? Sorry. She also a number of her family members have passed on and also he relocated her. So there's a number of factors basically why I guess her family is not involved. Sarah, you said, I generally think he was dressing her in those earliest posts on Instagram. I'm sorry, but even her clothing brand and how she puts outfit together is definitely the real her. He's embarrassed by her. If he's embarrassed by her, then just leave her alone. Let her be in whatever bubble she wants to be in. P.S. He said also the fact that a ambiguous black woman is being berated up and down social media is what is dangerous. Derrick didn't have the decency to protect her family, much less his wife from social media. That's very true. Very, very true. African Queen, you said, I feel like a lot of men get married to have a maid and consistent. That's it. If you guys watched my video, yeah, a few videos back, I said I spoke with a guy, very nice guy, as per our relationship, like as a family friend, you know what I mean? Very nice guy. But when he was describing what he wants from a woman, I didn't even realize it because of this the the where we were basically. I wasn't thinking too deep. But when I was watching a video and what you guys were saying is that he wants a maid and someone that's constantly there to satisfy his needs. Like he wants her to be able to like not speak too much or wants like she needs to be down for it all the time, cook, clean. That's a maid, essentially. A maid that you have sexual intercourse with here and there. Hey, I'm so done. Is that it? The bonnet of salvation. Rachel, you said, to be honest, if you found your man was cheating, you mostly won't have the energy to get doled up. That's true. That is true. But then it's like you're still living life. And I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to relationships. Something may happen, something really bad may happen in your relationship, yeah, but life is still passing by. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, a lot of times when something really bad happens to you, it feels like the world has frozen. The world has just stayed in, like, it's just frozen. But it hasn't. Life continues. You are still getting older. Life continues essentially. So, okay, I get it. You don't feel like doing this and you don't feel like doing that. But all of that essentially is wasted time. If we're being honest, it's all wasted time. Because whilst you're there like grieving a situation and angry about the situation, life keeps going. And more than anything, life keeps going, the man also keeps going. The man's still gonna go about his business. This ain't gonna stop him. He's still gonna do what he wants to do. So whilst you're there crying like a rat on the highway, he's still out living his life. Do you know what I mean? Whilst you're wallowing in self-pity, and not self-pity, but in depression, he's still going strong. Let me scroll down. Okay, I'm at the bottom now. Finally, found you said men are polygamous by nature. Okay. P.S. You said I don't think monogamy is realistic at all, especially living in a patriarchal society. I heard that. Carol, you said this is exactly why I decided to be alone. Relationships are not what they used to be. The trust and respect is non-existent. That's I heard that too. Um, the man you choose to marry can either make your life better or mess you up mentally. Women need to really vet a man before marriage. 100%. Don't let pressures of society force you to be in a situation where you will regret it. Because no one is gonna be in your household with you. Yeah, okay, you do the beautiful wedding, and it's given the vibes and aesthetics, but no one is going to be in that marriage with you. People that come and eat your food at your marriage, they're not going to be there with you. So if you're suffering in your marriage, my dear, it's you suffering. It's not them. It's not them. They're in the house. Do you get it? But you are the one that's suffering because you allowed the pressure from them make you rush into a situation that you didn't truly want to be in. You said, sorry, I should have put the energy to get dolled up for the video. She shouldn't have been in the video then. She should have refused if she knew that, she just, like, why be in a, just don't be in a video. Exactly that. Crying like a rat on the highway. Sarah, you said, I remember last year she revealed that she found videos of Derrick having sex with other women. She used to watch it. Wow, this I did not know. That is sad. I remember last year she revealed that she found videos of Derek having sex with other women and she used to watch the tapes repeatedly. And she says she tried to look, talk, and act like the woman. Wow. Wow. That I did not know. That is crazy. And that just shows how far a woman will go to try and secure her marriage. And I'm in no position to say whether that's right or wrong because it's just not my place to say. But just as an outsider looking in, that seems crazy to me that she will watch it repeatedly and try and probably learn from the women, see how they look, and actually try to adapt it all in the namesake of keeping her marriage. And probably with the friends that she do have, like her church people, they're probably encouraging her to try and obviously keep the marriage going. Nile, you said, trust me, he'll regret it. He won't have a wife that sits beside him. If the world knows he's cheating, that means that no one wants him. Exactly that. And the worst thing is, yeah, do you know what the worst thing? He definitely will come back begging or he's gonna regret his decisions. But my key thing is, I don't think, and let me know, do you think if he never divorced her, do you think she would have ever left the relationship? Let me know. Do you think she would have ever filed for divorce if he didn't do it? Because my thing is, when he does come begging, when he does come knocking, she may open the door. And I feel like there's two paths as to which she can go. She can go down the route of severe depression, severe anxiety, just like it go in a really dark place and just let go of everything. Or she could have a comeback. She could have a whole turnaround and utilize it, use the clout in her advantage, expose the mother, basically try and cut his bag, and basically go on talk shows, go on talk shows, make a YouTube channel, go on social media, talk to women about how to let go of a situation, how to overcome a situation, how to go stronger in a situation. There's either two ways, one or the other, and both is very contingent on the people she has around her. Literally, and obviously her herself, but very much the people around her will very much influence which path she takes. Um, You said his wife is just desperate to be a Proverbs. I don't even know what that is. What's a Proverbs 31 wife? Thank you! I don't even believe in monogamy, but if these people that are working in Asda, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not even, shaming your hustle. But my brother, if you're on £8.50 an hour, monogamy where? Even if it's to work 40 hours a week, still, you don't have enough money for monogamy. But anyway, let me keep going. If you said relationships have been this way, unfortunately, our mothers and auntie have been tolerated. It's true. And I feel like they even tolerated more. So when people are like, relationships are not the same or things were better back in the day, I'm just like, what back in the day are you referring to? The ones where the man used to beat his wife with a belt? Or was it when he dashed the hanger, like the hook of the hanger at her head? And I'm really talking about life experiences. Or was it when he got, the old television and he dashed it on her when she was sleeping? Is that, and these are three different men, by the way. Or is that the relationship? Boy, me, no. Me, nah, no. African Queen, you said, why are we even talking about looks? Some men are just selfish. They will cheat whenever they have the opportunity to. 100%. 100%. Um, That's it, Lady Lexi. Your mental well-being is more important. Kayla, you said I don't believe monogamy is working because we teach men to be polygamous and teach women to be monogamous. There is a disconnect. 100%. Kayla, if I could keep just comment on and not put on any comments for a few minutes, I would, but obviously I need to keep going. But it's true. It's true because what is the real repercussions of cheating when it comes to a guy? Because a woman, even you see like some guys' mothers will say to the girlfriend or say to the wife, that's just how men are. They could even say, oh, at least he's not as bad as his dad. And then a lot of times I feel like the older women will trauma dump. So when you want to leave a situation due to him being him cheating, they will trauma dump and they'll go with like, at least he didn't get her pregnant. Because we know, especially as black people, how many of us have half sisters, half brothers, or do you know how many times I heard people say, "Oh, I got 4 siblings, but I got 3 siblings from my dad's side." When you hear people say from my dad's side, that means the dad was out there sleeping with whoever, and he got them women pregnant. So that is very, very much like prevalent in the older generation. So then the older woman will say, at least he don't have a baby on you. At least they'll be like, he will outgrow it. So it's like, it's true. They are taught to be polygamous. Or even if they're not taught to be polygamous, the way that if they are polygamous in an instance, the repercussions are just not there. If anything, it's very much hush, like, oh no, that's just how you are. It's fine. Don't worry, but let a woman do it. Let a woman cheat on her husband with 2 other guys. Her mom herself will be the one that cast her daughter away. Um okay, everyone is saying no, and I'm trying to remember what the question I asked was. Guys, what did I ask again? Everyone is saying no. But what was my question? Oh, she wouldn't have left. Yes, that's it. Everyone believes that she wouldn't have left. She would have stayed in the situation. So, I saw a comment earlier saying that he actually made her better. In some ways, Miscellaneous Mimi, you said she was a very delusional woman. Remember, she was literally fighting demons with an actual sword. I didn't watch that. Blue Bubbles, you said he forced her to be Christian, told her that being holy is better by him forcing her. How would she find Jesus and not the religion, Christianity? It's true. And that is what even hurts me the most when you want to be broken polygamous. My friend, go and sit down somewhere. So, Chocolate Sugar, you said she was stuck between a toxic husband and toxic religious people. Imagine the amount of gaslighting, 100%. 100%. We don't shame abusive men enough. The women that run to a man that has been adulterous in his marriage are also part of the problem. 100%. They condone it. You know what you're walking into. You know what the guy's left behind, the children he's left behind, the wife, the promises, but you're there shacking up with him. And then you're surprised when he does the exact same thing that he done to his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend to you. You're surprised? You're shocked? Why are you shocked? If you say he cheated on her, embarrassed her in front of the whole world, made her forgive him, then that is what I'm saying. And I feel like I just hate that he's the one that filed for divorce and he's gonna milk it. He's gonna milk it. He's gonna milk it, milk it, milk it. Like, I decided to let her go. I decided to set her free. That is what pisses me off the most. African Queen, you said I also feel like women should not sleep with married men. I feel like that's the principle, but it seemed like say I feel like that's just common standard, like common sense, but it seems that sometimes you need to be telling girls this or explaining this to women that a married man is. But that's what I'm saying. As I said earlier, there's no guy that's more single than a married man. So the way the married, like, let me not talk too much here, but there have been instances where the extent the extent that a married man will go to prove that he's like some men will have a separate house. A single guy is not going to do that. A guy that has a girlfriend, he's not going to do that. They will have a separate house. They will have a whole. They may even have a separate name. They will have a different life, like completely a different career. A single man is not going to do that. And that's why I'm saying single, there's no guy more single than a married man. Because from when you're renting another property, and more time, these guys that are renting another property, it's not like they have money, you know. It's not like they have money to waste. They don't have the money to waste. But because they want to be selfish, that's why they're doing it. So they may even rent the woman, and that's it. Mostly, they've got money, they'll rent you an apartment so that they know they have continuous and easy access to you when they want to see you. A single man is not going to do that because he's going to think, why am I going to do that? Why am I paying your rent for? Do you know what I mean? A single man is not going to do that. A married man will. A taken man will. And that is what's really scary. That's the question. Did you guys still continue watching him after he was exposed last year? That's it. They go through so much to ensure that they you do not know that they're married. And that's the thing, you know, a lot of times people say, well, by the time they realize he's married, it's too late. That's really down to you because what goes around comes around. And that's the reality of the situation. And if you're okay with what has gone around to come back around to you, fair dues. Okay, I can't force you. No one can't force you to do something that you don't want to do. So just as long as you know what goes around comes around, even if it's not with this guy or with the next guy or the guy after that, what goes around comes back around. Whether that's in 10 years when you're married or in 5 years when you're about to get married, what goes around comes around. Hill 21, you said she's going to need therapy and counseling in order to truly heal and move on. And I feel like since she's already religious, she really needs to find God. No, she doesn't need to find religion. She needs to find God. She needs to go to God. Because for me, I say it, religion is one thing, God is another. Religion is a way to access God. Religion has guidance as how you access God, how you pray, how you worship Him. Yeah. But religion has been, I would arguably say, tainted by people that has redefined what religion was originally meant to be. It was supposed to be a passageway to access and how to talk to God, but people have now created their own cultures and their own standards or their own practices, and then marks that as if you're truly a Christian or you're truly a Muslim or you're truly a Buddhist, you need to do so and so. When really and truly that wasn't. If you go back, if you go to the Bible, please, where does it say in the Bible? Where does it say in the Bible? Where you tell me to the verse that it says in the Bible? No, it's not the Bible. It's you. And then there's another element of black culture and religion. That's a lot of things that I've seen as like religion within a black culture. No, it's actually the culture. It's not really the religion. It's not part in the Bible. It's just what black culture has basically said. As a Christian from a black heritage, this is what you should do and this is what you should practice. But it wasn't, it's not in the Bible. Or as I said before, there's elements in the Bible because, as I said, the Bible's open to interpretation. So they've taken one bit of the Bible, redefined it, made it a consensus amongst people, and just kind of pushed it onto people. And people just soak it up and they feel like a good Christian would do this, a good wife would do so and so. And that's the problem. African Queen, you said, I know a woman from Somalia who went crazy because her husband married a second wife. She became mental and the government took her. Oh, wow. And that's the thing. So the last thing I want to talk about today, yeah, because I wanted this video to be like an hour, because obviously people are going to watch on replay. And if you are watching, hey. Last question is, do we think monogamy still works? Like, one man, one woman. Because the glorification of side women and the way that it's so accepted when, like, if you imagine you have, okay, let's say if you have an uncle and it's like, oh yeah, your uncle's cheating on his wife, you're not gonna be like, oh my god, you're gonna be like, oh, why? Or him, or well, you're not gonna be that shocked. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like a guy being unfaithful to his wife or his girlfriend is so accepted. And whilst we still strive for monogamy and we say one man and one woman, if we look at percentage wise, how many are really practicing it? How many relationships can we say like they've been together for 10 years and he's never cheated on her? Or he hasn't had multiple sides, like multiple girls on the sides at one period. So and I feel like for me, that's like a stance as to when you're entering a relationship is very much setting expectations of what you're going to experience or what you could potentially experience and being realistic with yourself. And more than anything, knowing how you're going to deal in a situation, how you're going to react to a situation. Because as we've seen, the most beautiful woman, the most ugliest woman, the most tallest woman, the most shortest woman, the most biggest woman, the most skinniest woman, all get cheated on. And it's like, how do we? So, are we going to say that society has condoned polygamy so much that we should change our stance? And that's not me saying you should accept it and just be okay with it, but it's very much like, what are we going to do? What are we gonna do? Like, what are we actually gonna do? Are we gonna accept it? Are we gonna do the same thing? Like, what are we actually gonna do? African Queen, you said women just need to walk away from disrespectful men. What would you define as a disrespectful man? Chocolate Sugar is that we're not secure enough to have open relationships. And that's the thing. And that's the biggest thing because I feel like a lot of men have open relationships. Like they're already having, they're chatting to different girls, doing whatever they want to do, but it's the woman, and that's the thing. This is what kind of like is the most unfortunate aspect of it. Is like we'll say that, oh, open relationships or polygamy, like as women we're just not on it. As women we just don't believe in it. But just because you do not believe in it does not mean it's not happening to you. So you can shout from the rooftop saying, "Ah, be with multiple people, see multiple people." Yeah, you can stay loyal. You have been staying loyal. But just because you've been loyal doesn't mean he hasn't been loyal to me. He won't be loyal to you. You'll still be there. You'll still be in a relationship. But he's still gonna do so. That's what I'm saying. Are we accepting it? So are we accepting as women, we don't wanna open ourselves to that and do this, that, because that's just not within us to be with multiple partners. We then directly saying that, okay, we're not gonna participate and condone that behavior, but we're gonna just like ignore or just accept that that's just how men are gonna be. They're gonna cheat. They're gonna see multiple women. They're gonna date multiple women. They're gonna take out multiple women. They're gonna entertain multiple women, and that's just how life is. If you say monogamy is a scam, I feel like most relationships are polygamous undercover. Women close their eyes, but they know deep inside that their men are entertaining other women. And that's that. And that's that. A man that's cheating on you is disrespecting you. Women should not tolerate that kind of foolishness. 100%. But I feel like women are, because it's been so ingrained into just that's how like as you even said here, like people say it's in their biology. That's just how men are. So it's like it is what it is. Anyways, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. I didn't want to make this video too long. So, we've been chatting for the past hour, spilling the teeth, discussing what we think of the situation. Thank you so much for joining. If you still want to let me know your thoughts, make sure you comment down below what you would do if you was Danae. And even if you're rewatching this, if you was Derrick Jaxn wife, what would you do? Like, what would you actually do? How would you deal with this situation? Like, you're in a situation, how would you progress from it? Is it the rooting in depression and self pity, or are you gonna try and shake shit up and reclaim your life? But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of 12 Days of Zogi. And if you haven't watched my vlog or you're watching this and you're not subscribed, just subscribe and make sure you like the live too. Yeah? Oh, I would have loved to hear what you guys had to say. Not you guys comment at the end. Not you guys comment at the end. Anyways, all right. Now, don't worry, there'll be future incidents. As long as men exist, as long as men are on this earth, there'll be future incidents, and we'll talk about it a bit more soon. Love you too, guys. Love you too. I watch every single one of your videos. Love you too, guys. All right. Bye, everyone. I will see you guys tomorrow. Not me waving. I'm not clicking end.